Hello everyone, it's Old Guardian here. In this video I'm going to take a deep look into the Iskaara Tuskarr Community Feast event. You unlock access to Community Feast event at Renown 3 with Iskaara Tuskarr, but it's an account-wide unlock, so all of your alts can just come right in and go do the feast. And why would you do this feast event? It is by far the best way to get reputation with Iskaara Tuskarr, and that includes repetition, so you want to farm this multiple times per week if you're trying to get rep. The main alternative is to buy your way by fish donations, which cost you between 500,000 and 1 million gold to get the reputation, depending on what else you have done. But if you just want to work for it a little bit, then this is by far the best way. Also, even when you're done with the reputation, you still want to do this once a week, because from the main quest, which is once a week, you can get the alchemical flavor pocket embellishment, which is incredibly powerful. The feast event happens in Iskaara here, 13.5, 48.5, here by the communal pot. Big Canoog is the chef, and the weekly quest, you get the quest from Bleki, and you can only get the quest when the feast event is going on. So to come here, and there might be a lot of people, so you have to try to find Bleki over here to get the quest. For all the repetitions, you do not need the quest, you do not need anything, just show up and do some tasks. There are two types of tasks in the event. Some of them just happen, and whether you actually do anything or not, you will get the completion, and some of them are personal tasks. So if you're doing AFK farming, it's best to do it when there's a lot of people, because there are fewer personal tasks, so then you're likely not going to get a personal task at all, and you will get maximum rep anyway. But if you get a personal task, then you would have to complete it in order to keep getting new tasks. And the personal tasks have you fish something. Whenever there's a task to fish something, there's always going to be a school nearby, so you will be able to fish from the school, or it will have you pick up or buy some ingredients from around the village. There is always a marker on your map, so most of them are pretty easy, but there is one buying task that can be a little bit confusing at times. It's the hunk of blubber, because it depends on how much you have done. When you start, most of the Tuskarr are around here, so the vendor is also here. But once you have done some of the quests, then that vendor, the skinning trainer Ukara is actually going to be over here at the far end of the village. So that can be a little confusing sometimes finding that one. Other than that, it is all fairly straightforward. So let's take a look at some numbers and some details. So the Community Feast event takes place every 3.5 hours, and that's of course a little awkward timing, so that you would remember to come there, because it doesn't go evenly with the number of hours in a day, so the time changes every day. The event itself lasts for around 15 minutes. There's the weekly quest for that, and for the weekly quest you get 500 reputation and a weekly box that can drop the alchemical flavor pocket, which is an embellishment that doesn't count as an embellishment, so it doesn't count against your embellishment cap, to increase duration of welfare by 100% and make it persist through death, so very convenient upgrade to have. And this feast is the best reputation source per time spent for the faction, and that includes repetitions apart from the weekly completion. Because when we look at how you get reputation from the event, you get 25 reputation for all common tasks, you get 40 reputations for all of the individual tasks that you actually have to complete yourself, and then you get 60 to 80 reputation for each monster attack. Every time the soup gains a level, there's a monster attack, and if you're able to get the soup all the way to Legendary 2, that means that there's going to be 6 attacks, so it's almost 400 rep only from the monster attacks alone. And finally, there's 50 reputation from Bisquiz, which is summoned if soup reaches Legendary, and it always does at the end, and that is repeatable multiple times per day. You can get the Bisquiz rep also every single time you do this. I've done the event many times myself, and I've been trying to test everything interesting about it. So some observations. First, the monsters. The monsters give you rep even if you don't tag them. You can just stand by the soup pot and it's totally fine. But you need to be close. So if you're on the other side of the village just buying something when the monster is killed, then you don't get the rep for that. So you might want to delay a buying quest a little bit if there's a monster attack going on, so that the monster is killed first and then you go and buy the thing. Then Bisquiz itself. Bisquiz rep comes from a token that you get when you loot Bisquiz, and you can't loot Bisquiz unless you have tagged it. So Bisquiz at the end you have to tag that one, otherwise you don't get the rep. Then you get an extra action button whenever you get a task to say, yes, chef. And, well, do you have to press that? Is that any use? There is a minor use for it. It gives you a 10-second movement speed buff, but it doesn't give you more rep, it doesn't give the soup more levels, so it doesn't really do that much. There is only one exception where you need to press that extra action button for Yes Chef, and that's if you are asked to stir the soup because you're thrown into the pot, and then once you click Yes Chef, then you will get the action button that you can use to stir the soup. And you need to stir the soup with that action button. Just click, 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 click. That is the only way that actually increases the aroma of the soup. So that's all you need to know about the Iskaara Tuskarr Community Feast event. A wonderful event where you get between around 450 and 800 reputation every single time you do this, even for repetitions during the week. And for the first time you do this in the week, you get 500 reputation more. So it's a great source of Tuskarr rep. Thank you for watching. Click like and subscribe if you enjoyed this, and a special thanks to all of my Patreon supporters, YouTube members and Twitch subscribers who make all of these videos possible.